Hey guys, Silver Shady here, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemonday. Okay, so originally I wasn't gonna touch base on any of the Sun and Moon decks, until after Plasma Month was finished. Last week, as I'm sure most of you know, I did, a Lunala Espion deck. I mostly just put it out there because I had seen no other really decent lists online, so I thought, why not? I'll at least get my own idea. I'll at least get my own idea out there, so other people can try to test it and see what's going on with it. And as of this recording, it has 132 views, which is my most viewed video at the moment. I was not expecting it. So as such, I figured I'm gonna feature a couple of every week this week alongside the standard Plasma Month decks. I'm also gonna feature a Sun and Moon infused deck. I have a couple of them lined up. This is one of them. Yveltal Tauros. The good thing about this one is it kind of kills two birds with one stone. Anyone who's familiar with Pokemondays will know, for episode 3, I did a deck building tutorial where I featured an Yveltal list. I had promised that I would go out and test this list and come back to it. This is that revised list that I said I was going to come back to. Kind of got pushed on the back burner, just due to Yveltal falling out of favor due to healing being found as an effective way of controlling Yveltal's board state, essentially. Tauros GX, having been released, really does help that situation. Alongside this list, I'm also trying, and failing quite badly, to try to make a Solgaleo deck work. I'm having a lot of difficulties in that. If you guys have any ideas on Solgaleo, just drop a comment down in the comment section below. I'll be starting to look at them. I've tried pairing it with Bronzong and Expanded. In Standard, I've tried pairing it with Genesect. It's not fast enough, is the problem. So, but yeah, if you guys have any ideas on a Solgaleo list, absolutely, just leave a comment in the comment section below. I'd be more than happy to hear from you. Also, I have a Lugia Decidueye deck that'll be coming to you. While I have the cards in real life, I unfortunately am shy 2 Decidueye GXs online, and as such am not able to actually do a full deck profile and battle showcase for it. I'm in the works of trying to get those, but once those are actually done, that'll be, I'm hoping, either next week or the week after, I'll be showcasing that deck as well. In the meantime, let's actually get into this. This is Yveltal Tauros. So, naturally, our main attacker is still the same. We have good old-fashioned Bacon Bird here. Yveltal EX, 170 HP, Dark-type basic, EX. For 1 dark and 1 colorless energy, Evil Ball, 20 damage, and this attack does 20 more damage, times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. And then, of course, the main attack that this list seems to use is actually Y Cyclone, surprisingly. For 1 dark and 1 double colorless, you do 90 damage, and you move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. Just a very powerful attack. Definitely a 2-hit knockout deck. We also still run 1 copy of Fright Night Yveltal. Mega Mewtwo still is a thing. Mega Gardevoir's kind of fallen off a little bit, as has Mega Scizor. But with the release of Lunala, there are a couple of Lunala Mewtwo decks running around, so Fright Night being able to shut down Spirit Links, still a very good attack. Keep in mind, however, the Pitch Black Spear cannot damage GXs, it only does damage to EXs, so its effectiveness has gone down a little bit. And then, of course, we have 2 copies of Tauros GX, a basic 180 HP colorless Pokemon GX. A couple of reasons why this is good. Number 1, we don't have to worry about Carbink safeguarding against us. And all 3 of its attacks are for a DCE. Its first attack, Rage, for 20 damage. This attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So essentially, as soon as you take a moderately good hit, your Rage will suddenly be dealing a lot more than your second attack, which is Horn Attack, which is a vanilla 60. And then, of course, you have Mad Bull GX. Naturally, GX attack, you can only use one per game. This attack does 30 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Nice big swing attack for that crucial knockout that you can't afford to miss. It does have a 3-star retreat cost and a weakness to fighting ×2, but that is something you do have to deal with. We do run 2 copies of that, and naturally our standard 2 copies of Shaman for draw power. Onto our supporters, we run 4 copies of Professor Sycamore, 3 copies of N, 2 copies of Lysander. We run 1 copy of Ninja Boy, 1 copy of Hex Maniac, 1 copy of Professor Kukui, and 1 copy of Delinquent. Delinquent because we still do run our standard 2 parallel cities. Still, in my opinion, the best stadium in format right now. Onto our items, we have 4 Ultra Balls, 3 Max Elixirs for Energy Acceleration. We have 1 Enhanced Hammer for Energy Disruption on our opponent's side of the field, 1 Escape Rope, 1 Super Rod, 1 Switch, and 4 Versus Seekers. And we also run 2 copies of Fighting Fury Belt and 3 copies of Floatstone, and those are to go with our 2/2 Garbodor line with Garbotoxin. So, still a very powerful card, especially what with everything that's been released now, especially Decidueye running around rampant. Garbodor is definitely going to be your best friend, so you definitely want to make sure you get him onto the field as soon as possible. And then rounding out our list, we have our energy count of 4 double colorless energies and 9 basic dark. So that's the list. We're going to go ahead and get in a couple of games here and show you what she can do. Okay, we will go first. Psychic colorless deck, I would assume Mega Mewtwo. Lone Trubbish start. Alright. Drop the Fighting Fury Belt, and we will drop the Dark Energy and pass our turn. Okay, Ultra Ball. Getting rid of the Mega Turbo and the Ultra Ball, so yeah, most likely going to be a Mega Mewtwo list, I would assume. Grab Hoopa, alright. Yep. There's our 3 Mewtwo's, with 3 different arts for OCD people. Okay, and the Shaman comes down. And the Sycamore does as well. Mewtwo Spirit Link comes down on that. We see the Parallel City. And our opponent has left only 3 cards in hand. Oh. And we're going to play the Delinquent. Just to be that guy. Okay. And our opponent does not look happy about that one. Alright. So we're going to hang on to our hand here. And we're going to go ahead and Evil Ball for 130. We'll see what our opponent top decks. A Sycamore. Of course. Of all the things, he had to top deck a Sycamore. And we're going to say well played on that one. Okay, so the Mewtwo Spirit Link comes down with a DCE onto the benched Mewtwo. Does he have the Mega? No. Well then. We're going to go ahead and drop the Ultra Ball here. We will get rid of these two. Go ahead and grab our Shaman here. Okay. See Tauros come out. Play that. Actually, worst case scenario, we're gonna go ahead and max Elixir here. There we go. Okay. And we're gonna drop another Evil Ball onto here. And take 2 prize cards. There we go. Alright, so we hit a Trubbish and an N. Now, I'm assuming our opponent's going to be very, very careful. He's going to Acid Spray us for 10. And Scoop. Okay. Alright. Yeah, that was one thing you always got to be careful of if you're playing an opponent who most likely would be running Parallel City, namely Yveltal or Mega Mewtwo. Always try to keep in mind the delinquent play, because that is a very powerful play, and if you leave yourself with only 3 cards on hand without an out, it will hurt. Okay, so our opponent's most likely going to be going first. So our opponent does see our delinquent, which will indicate to them that they should be very careful with us. Okay. Okay, so we start Tauros, which isn't terrible. I certainly would have been happier with something else, but, I mean, it's something we can live with, at least. A Passimian deck. Okay. Well, this will be very interesting. Alright, Fan Club's gonna come down. I'm guessing a Mew and a Passimian, my guess would be. No, a Shaman on Tauros. Right, okay. Skyfield, alright. I can get behind that. See the setup for 2. Now, is our opponent going to play 2 more cards so we can delinquent them or no? That really is a big question. Alright, so no they're not. That's fine. Alright, so we're going to play the Double Colorless Energy here. We're going to drop the Fighting Fury Belt onto there. We are going to go ahead and play Lysander to drag up our opponent's Shaman. And we're going to go ahead and just Horn Attack here. Does 70 damage, but at least gets some damage on the field. Worst case scenario, they have to waste Sky Return on it, which just powers up our other attacks. Okay, our opponent's going to play Sycamore. Wow. Okay. Okay, so a Float Stone goes down. Alright. Second Psychic Energy comes down. And we're going to see a team play hit for a decent amount of damage, actually. Okay, so we're going to drop the second Tauros GX onto our bench, attach the Double Colorless Energy here. We're going to play our Delinquent, force our opponent to throw away all three of his last three cards, which of course will leave him with no hand, and let's see, we will be able to do 190 with this attack, which will be more than enough to knock out this poor little Passimian here. Okay. We are going to go ahead and use Rage for the knockout, netting us a prize card. We hit the Hex Maniac. Okay, our opponent sends up his Floating Shaman EX, draws a card, and our opponent retreats into the Passimian. Can't say I blame him on that one. Now, the question is, we could go for a Tauros GX knockout here. So I'm thinking we actually do grab that knockout. I'm going to go ahead and grab that Lysander back. I'm going to go ahead and drag that Tauros up to the front here. And Rage for the knockout, netting us another 2 prize cards. And at this point, no matter what he sends up, we will be able to knock it out in one hit. And in case we do get Revenge KO'd, we do have a Tauros sitting on the bench as well. That can also deal a hefty chunk of damage. Now the funny thing is, if we can actually top deck a Versus Seeker, we can actually force our opponent Delinquent again. So might be a bit of a dick move, but okay. Okay, so our opponent hits us for 80 damage, which is going to knock out our Tauros, which will net him 2 additional prize cards. Send up our Tauros here. We draw the basic fighting energy here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, throw away our Garb and our Hex Maniac. I'm going to grab our Shaman here. This may seem silly, but it does allow us to get the maximum number of cards here. We're going to drop down our Parallel City, forcing our opponent to be stuck with all 3 of his benched Pokemon, and we're going to set up for a fresh set of 6. Don't hit a whole lot, but it's not like we can't use what we have. So what we can definitely do is we can Ultra Ball here. Go ahead and try to go for that good old Trubbish down there. There we go. Drop that down, drop our Shaman down. Draw another 6 cards, trying to hit that Versus Seeker, which unfortunately we are unable to hit. Drop the Float Stone down. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and use Horn Attack here. While it only deals 70 damage, our opponent will not be able to take a knockout this next turn, which will allow us in turn to knock them out. Okay, so our opponent's going to Lysander us. He's going to drag up the Yveltal. Okay. And use team play for a measly 20. Not something I'm terribly worried about. So we're going to drop the double colorless energy onto our Yveltal here. And ironically enough, we're actually going to use it to retreat to get our Tauros back up to the front here. And we're going to go ahead and use Horn Attack once again for the knockout on that Passimian, which will net us another prize card. We'll go ahead and grab that one there. We hit the Sycamore. Now, assuming... Now, the good news about this is, if he does land a hit on us, our escape rope should be able to get that last knockout we need. We will see if that will come to fruition here. We've only played one Versus Seeker this entire game, so there are still 3 left that we could find. And our opponent's got a Brock's Grit. Okay. So, total of 5. The Tauros GX, the 2 Passimians, and 2 of the Psychic, and the 2 Psychic Energies, I should say. Our opponent's going to send up their Tauros. That is interesting. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play our escape rope here. Just as I thought. We're going to send up our floating trash bag here. Go ahead and grab the Ultra Ball. Toss away one of these 3 fucking Sycamores we have in our hand. Grab the Garbodor. And at this point, we are going to go ahead and lock down all abilities, as they are no longer necessary. I'm going to go ahead and play the Sycamore. It doesn't seem like he has another Sky Field yet. Not that he'd really be able to use it that much. Okay, our Max Elixir does actually hit. We'll place that onto the Yveltal along with a Dark Energy. I'm going to go ahead and retreat into our Tauros once more, and we're just going to Horn Attack once again. Now, if our opponent does not have an answer to us, we have game next turn in the form of Lysander. So, we will see what answer he has. Okay, so we see the Hex Maniac come down. Nothing I'm really worried about. I mean, I already do the exact same thing, dude. So we're going to drop the Dark Energy there. We're going to go ahead and grab the Versus Seeker, grab the Lysander out of the discard pile, pick up the Lysander, Lysander up the Shaman, and we are going to Horn Attack here for the game. There we go. Alright. So that was just a couple of games there for you guys. As before with the previous video, normally I would try to maybe go into a 3rd game based on how short these ones were, but unfortunately I am a bit crunched on time today. Either way, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this. let me know what you think down in the comments below about this deck. Personally, I feel Yveltal is starting to fall out of favor. Even with Tauros, I'm not sure it's going to be enough to save it. I will be, again, over the course of the next few weeks, I will be looking into other decks, such as the Decidueye Lugia, possibly a Solgaleo list if I can even get the damn thing to function. A Lapras list is another thing I've been thinking about. But in the meantime, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. And as a special thank you for watching all the way to the end, your weekly code card is right here. This is another Sun and Moon booster pack. Let me know what you pull down in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. If you pull a Gold Ultra Ball, then there you go, bud. Anyways. So, that just about does it for today, and we'll see you next week on Pokemondays.